and indeed goodbye from QI, where tonight the end is nigh. For an exciting photo finish, I'm joined by the four jockeys of the apocalypse, and they are Mr. Jimmy Carr, Mr. Dara O'Brien, Miss Doon Mackichan, and Master Alan Davies. Before we plunge up to our elbows in the 7 bowls of wrath, let me remind you about our regular Elephant in the Room bonus. There are extra points for spotting any pachyderms on my person this evening. But now, let's hear how I intend to end it all. And Dara goes. And Jimmy goes. Doon goes. That's nice. And Alan goes. Great. Thank you, Alan. Superb. I think I detected the hand of the late, great Dudley Moore in your buzzer there. Now, that brings us to our final question. What were the last words of General Sedwick in the wilderness of Spotsylvania?
He hasn't got a mouth. So there weren't any words at all, unless he wrote them down.
In a convenient bubble that he carried around with him.
Maybe he had a little notebook of bubble-shaped things and he just...
I'll tell you that the year is 1864. What war was going on then?
Franco-Prussian War.
That was a tiny bit later.
The 100 years, 30 years, 25 years.
Civil, American Civil War.
The War. So we're talking
Civil
about
War.
a... Yeah, well done. Thank you for cutting that
The
off.
American Civil War.
It is the American Civil War. That was not, however, the question.
Spotsylvania is in near to Pennsylvania.
It's Virginia, in fact. It's in the state of Virginia. He was actually with 100,000 of his own men. He was a part of the Union, i.e. the Yankee Army, facing 52,000 Confederate troops.
Ooh.
And they were just getting ready for the battle. And there were snipers.
Was he saying easy?
Almost that equivalent. It was hubris. It was one of the most extraordinary last words ever spoken.
This will be over in 5 minutes.
We'll be back in time for Deal or No Deal.
Let me tell you now that you could have played your elephant cards.
Well, I will then.
Nah.
Too late.
He actually said, why are you dodging like this? They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance. And he was shot under the left eye and fell down dead without finishing the word distance.
Ooh, you'd be annoyed, wouldn't you? You'd be livid. You'd be shot in the eye, that's annoying to start with. And you look a fool.
Exactly.
Cheered up the troops, though, I'd imagine. I imagine they probably found that irony quite funny, as that.
Troops will. They have that sort of sense of humour.
They do, don't they? The lower orders.
He was known as Uncle John. He was very popular. Ulysses S. Grant mourned his death, said it was worse than the loss of a division. He was the highest-ranking Union officer of any kind to die in the war.
Do you think famous last words are accurate? Because I think they lie a lot of the time. It's always something incredibly witty, like, you know, dying, that's the last thing I shall do. Whereas, in fact, I imagine they said that about 4 days before they died, and the last thing they said was, nurse! Nurse, it's happening again, I'm scared!
You're probably right. No one got either their elephant point. It may not be the only elephant bonus this
Let's hope
this game.
not.
I think you'd spent your elephant bonus at the very start.
Well, that's true. There are extra points if you can tell me. I mentioned Ulysses S. Grant, the great general of the Union Army. What did the S stand for?
Sausage.
I'd so like to tell you that was
Simon, Stephen, Stephanie, Simone, Spanky, Spanky Grant,
Sugar tits.
Sugar tits.
You can see, I mean, the S works. Sugar tits didn't work at all. Follow me, man. All right, sugar tits.
No, actually, the S in Ulysses S. Grant stood for nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
S was just his middle name. Now, what use can you think of for a cat in a box at the end of a parachute? Jimmy.
Could serve as an example to other naughty cats. Be my first thought on that.
It's very good.
It'd be a hell of a way to finish off a children's party, wouldn't it? What's that? What's that? Oh no, it hasn't opened. The last one was meow.
So you pull your cord, nothing happens. You pull your safety cord, nothing happens. You're allowed to take the cat out for your last few minutes.
No.
As a stress-relieving boon to your dying minutes.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, bless.
Is there a part of the world that is in dire need of cats?
There was between 1959 and 1961, and it was a combined British and World Health Organization.
Oh, some sort of
Is to do
mouse
with-
epidemic.
You're exactly on the right lines. In fact, it wasn't mice, but rats. Rats carry all kinds of diseases, and as vermin need to be controlled, and the best way of controlling them in some circumstances...
The best way is to parachute cats in a box.
It is...
How did they get out of the box?
Why don't you just drive up to the board or whatever and just fire them out of a cannon? Because then their natural landing instinct will kick in. You can put little goggles on them to keep
Mad
their
as this seems, there is a kind of awful logic behind why they had to be parachuted. Why in the country would there be a sudden shortage of cats?
Lots of dogs.
And someone put catnip on the border, and they're all gone.
We're in Borneo, Sarawak.
Old women had swallowed flies.
I'm with Dara on this.
The
yeah.
clue I'll give you, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane.
Oh.
Now, what?
DDT.
DDT, well done. Now you're getting
Stuff
there.
to stop you having mozzie bites.
Yes, it destroys mosquitoes, and it was sprayed in huge quantities over jungles in Sarawak and Borneo. Killed all the
Killed.
mosquitoes very successfully, but it also killed a lot of cockroaches. The cockroaches ate the DDT and were eaten by cats, which killed the cats. But a lot of the cats were dead in places that you can spray from the air with DDT. In other words, places you can't get a cat to in a little catmobile, for example. So they dropped them in boxes that had special springs, so when they landed, spring would open, the cat would bound out and help itself to any passing rat.
How showbiz is that? Hello! And all the rats that are gathered to go, what's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, shit, it's a cat.
But the cat has been terrified. The cat has surely shat in the box on its way down. I mean, come
It's a
on.
bit traumatising. If you tried to take a cat in a basket to the vet, it's
Exactly.
bad enough.
Oh,
Is
they
this-
love
is
going
this-
in the basket.
Oh.
I had to take mine once to the vet, and two of them, and they got out in the car. And I knew one would go out because I could see it on the back shelf, urinating. And the other one got on the dashboard in front of me and just went... Get back in the box!
I'll parachute you into Borneo if you're not careful.
On your arm.
Want to go to Borneo? No, get in your box.
So, no, I can't imagine they'd take to it.
No. So, there you have it. In 1959, the World Health Organization parachuted cats in crates into Borneo to tackle a plague of rats accidentally caused by their campaign against malaria. What finally finished off the elderly in Great Yarmouth in 1960?
Please tell me that this is the time. Tell me that there's so
What a
mad.
world it would be.
Oh, it'd be great. Like, once a year, just release an elephant into the streets of Great Yarmouth. and sellotape peanuts to the old.
They would die of shock, wouldn't they?
They die of compression, a lot of them.
They did die of shock. Or at least one person died of shock, firstly. It was two rather sporty, shall we say, fellow members of the Hazelmere Home for the Elderly in Great Yarmouth.
They saw a cat coming down at them by parachute.
No, it was two who were responsible for the deaths. One was an 81-year-old woman who did a striptease, presumably in the lounge, and one of the old people had a heart attack. And 5 others had to have medical attention for shock.
Did any of them have a stroke?
Hey, now. Well, this Miss Gladys Elton, which was her name, Gladys, she was responsible for the death of one of her fellow women. He wouldn't be alive now. This was 1960.
Gladys is a real name. Her stripper name would be like Aurora or something like that.
Another inmate, whose name was Harry Meadows, and he was 87, dressed up as Death, complete with scythe, and appeared at the window and tapped on it and beckoned.
Come in.
He did what?
Yeah, and 3 further residents died as a result of
Are you sure he isn't Death and they just caught him?
Maybe Death is a man called Harry Meadows. But
I never had a fancy dress party again.
the following year, and we are indebted to Brewer's book of rogues, villains and eccentrics for this extraordinary information, the following year they closed the Hazelmere home for the elderly down.
What did they do to Gladys Elton?
I would hope that they played the stripper at her funeral anyway, if nothing else. So, God bless her. That was Gladys Elton and Harry Meadows. Now, what is pink, has pendulous breasts, gets sailors all excited and tastes of prime beef? Yes.
Was Princess Margaret buried at sea?
Very good. Excellent. Any other thoughts?
I thought it might be Gladys Elton, but...
Before you. Oh.
A walrus.
Well, you're in the right area.
Manatee.
Oh, manatee is closer. Steller's sea cow, which is the name of this
Steller.
particular species of Sirenia, of dugong manatee-like thing.
Isn't it beautiful?
You can see why sailors in days of yore thought they were mermaids. How long would you have to be at sea before you spotted that and went, oh, yeah, I'll do it, yeah. Give her one.
That's actually a model, because it's one of those sad stories.
They have models as well. That's a particularly good one.
Yeah, she is a looker, Stephen.
That's a size 0 dugong. Well, why would we not have a photograph of it? Why would we only have this
Because they're
model?
extinct.
Very
they're
camera
extinct.
shy.
I'm afraid what happened was this man Steller described it as being pink, having pendulous breasts, and tasting delicious. 7,000 pounds worth of meat you get off one of those. So people came from far and wide to Bering Island, where he discovered them, and
Ate the lot.
and the last one was 26 years after he had discovered it. So he has the distinction of being the first and last scientist to describe the animal. So it's
If he hadn't described it as tasty...
that was his big mistake. He said it was disgusting, shouldn't he? Now, what's the story, ladies and gentlemen, of the Emperor's New Thrones? So many.
When you're on the spot, you
Yeah, I know.
You go right out of your mind. I just keep all I can think of is a penguin. That's all I've got the penguin on the chair, and I know it's not right.
Ming, the merciless.
Ming the Merciless.
I'm pretty sure was an emperor.
He was.
So no.
Was Jabba the Hutt an emperor?
Let's stay on Earth, can we? Just please. All right, so
Was he, though?
it's not Europe. It's not Europe.
Not Europe.
The.
Africa. Asia.
Yes, Africa.
Africa.
Ethiopia?
Ethiopia is the right answer.
Yeah, it was...
Haile Selassie.
Now, before Haile Selassie, there was an emperor...
Lowly Selassie.
Oh, very good. No, Emperor Menilik. Possibly Menilik.
Is that him?
Yes, that's Menilik.
Wow.
Fine-looking gentleman. He lived from 1844 to 1913. But around about the 1890s, he was showing some people around Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, stroke Abyssinia, as it was known. And,
What, he's emperor and tour guide?
yes, he seems to have been. These were rather august visitors. And they noticed men dead hanging from trees. And they said, look, come on, have you not heard of this wonderful new invention? The electric chair. It's humane, it's quick. And he said, I shall order 2 of them. There was one tiny drawback.
There's no electricity.
There was no electricity supply at all in the entire
He had to
country.
pedal really.
Did they execute people using only static?
Rubber comb against their pullover.
Quite petty theft. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is it me getting older that I can't get out of a car or go to a lift or touch a tap in a hotel room without getting an electric shock?
No,
It'd be
you're
great
very
if it was,
passionate.
as you get older, you become more metallic. Your bones turn to mercury or something, and you just end up... Maybe like an X-Men thing. You finally get your superpower.
Maybe I'm
just
turning
before you
into
die.
Ian McKellen, which I've long wanted to do.
But some people say it's because of passion, like when you meet, you know, the man, the woman of your dreams, you have an electric shock.
Like Van de Graaff generators.
Sometimes if I meet an attractive woman, I will taser her.
Well, there we are, you see, so... But we still haven't quite answered the question yet.
He used them as thrones.
He used one of them anyway as a throne.
Did he stop becoming emperor when electricity finally came to Addis Ababa?
And when they eventually brought it, they go, big news, hope you're sitting down. No, wrong thing to say.
1896, they got electric power in Ethiopia. Now, in 1916, the 4th British Antarctic expedition was stranded on this island for over 4 months. What's it called? Yeah.
Guernsey. There's been a terrible mix-up. Yeah. And that is Guernsey.
Which is quite a long way south, isn't it, Guernsey? But is it as far south as this island?
You're saying that's wrong, then?
It's not Guernsey, no, but a lovely effort. Yep.
Is this the famous one where they got stranded for ages and one of them had to go walking for about 8 months?
Shackleton went all the way, yes.
Oh, is it the island of reluctant but inevitable homosexuality? I think it's that one. I think I recognise it. From a school trip that went horribly wrong.
Lord of the undone flies. Hello.
Is it called Elephant Island?
Yes, it is! Bonus, Very good. Well done. There is, he said it, there is an elephant in the room. Brilliant. Quite right. Partly because of its shape, that's sort of supposedly, I think, a trunk, isn't it? You can see an elephant there if you draw the top left as its ear down there.
No, you can't.
Vaguely.
No,
you can't.
No.
You can't.
It was Shackleton's lot who got stuck there, and Shackleton went off all the way to South Georgia to a whaling station, then came all the way back. It was an extraordinary, adventurous business. And there they were all waving, bless them. An extraordinary bunch. Very brave, very hardy, very foolish in many ways, these people.
Very much like us.
Yes, I'd like to think that. Elephant Island named partly for its shape, as I was saying, and partly for the fact there are a lot of elephant seals on it. There you are. The men called it Elephant Island.
Hey, you see what they did?
Yeah, you can't blame them for descending to humour in that situation.
Quite a few less elephant seals after they did.
I imagine there were many fewer elephant seals. Yes, so... oh, Stephen, really. Elephant Island, our second elephant in the room this week. What quite interesting object is at the very end of the Earth?
Telford Town Centre. Although I would argue about the interesting bit.
At the bottom of Patagonia?
It's right down there, yes. It's the southern pole of inaccessibility.
Oh, is it the off switch?
To stop it spinning.
Plug hole.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's most unusual. It's a bust.
There's a bust.
There's a bust.
Oh, worth going, then.
Yeah. In the sense not of a pair of breasts, but in the sense of a sort of head and shoulders and front bit of a human being.
No, we didn't really think there was a big pair of tits.
It's of a living 20th century person, now dead.
A man.
Yeah.
Stalin.
Oh, the one before.
Lenin.
Vladimir Ilyich Lenin is there, right in the middle.
My
It's just
word.
bizarre. This southern pole of inaccessibility is more remote and hard to reach than the geographical South Pole. And in this very year, the destination was reached by a team of 4 Britons called Team N2I. Rory Sweet, Rupert Longston, Henry Cookson and Paul Landry. And we have one of this expedition in the audience. Mr...
Is it Lenin?
No. Mr. Rupert Longston is here. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that bizarre? Phenomenal. Rupert, how far did you actually have to travel? Because there was no mechanical power, was it?
No mechanical power. We travelled 1,100 miles in total. Some of it was cross-country skiing and then kite skiing.
Was it cold?
When that picture was taken, I think it was minus 60 degrees Celsius.
What did you eat?
Food was...
Food.
fairly repetitive. It was chocolate, cheese, salami, pasta, lots of it. And one day towards the end, when we'd been eating the same thing for about 40 days, we played laxative roulette. And with one person had laxatives in their food, we didn't know who.
Well, I bet you did.
Not straight away. The consequences were quite obvious after a while.
Does it freeze as it comes out? Does it a shard of shit?
When did the Russians put that there?
1958.
Good Lord. Rupert Longston, congratulations on doing an extraordinary first and being very, very foolhardy and very brave and very brilliant.
Clearly not an extraordinary first. There was a statue there when they arrived.
They went under their own power. No one had ever done that before. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Rupert. Thank you. That's amazing.
I like the idea of that, though, the idea of going and doing that with no mechanical device whatsoever. His moon mission's going to be amazing. Give me a man up a ladder going, this is madness.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on that splendid note, the Pale Rider now herds us reluctantly towards the slough of despond that is general ignorance. So, fingers on your buzzers. What does your appendix do? Oh, Doon.
Like the great British builder, it grumbles, but it does absolutely nothing.
Does it contain details about me that aren't needed in the main body?
Brilliant. Very good. Well, one of the uses it has is for rebuilding organs around the body in surgery, but it has quite recently been discovered to have a role in the immune system, and building things, antibodies and lymphoids and so on. So it is apparently, I'm rather worried when I've discovered this, that it seems to have plenty of uses, and I'm beginning thinking of asking for mine back. It's great. There it is. There it is. Little thing there.
Is it big? Is it? Well, I can't see the scale of
I think it's only a small...
No, it's wee little wormy thing, yeah.
Well, maybe yours is.
No.
Showing off about the size of my appendix. That I don't even have anymore.
Well, the largest one ever found belonged to a Pakistani gentleman and was actually 9.2 inches, which is very big. Yeah. Not impressed?
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
No. What's the best thing to do, though, when you get the 4-minute warning?
Pop a love egg up, you're guaranteed to come before the end does.
Very good.
And you've always got one on your person.
At all times.
What I would do, if 4-minute warning, I would stand next to a wall and then strike a pose. Do something. I would do something like that, so that when I get blown into my own shadow and obliterated by the blast,
and stylish.
Well, yeah, then when they do Time Team in 4,000 years, and the new. I want the new Tony Robinson to uncover me and go, I think ancient Egyptians.
Oh, no, better than that. You should get a really long pole and put it between your legs.
Great.
And they go, my God, look at this one! Make sure you got your name somewhere. Your name on the wall.
You could sort of flick out your posterior there. You could just sort of bend your bum out and sort of try and make it look as if you'd farted and everything had gone.
What is the 4-minute warning? What am I referring to?
I don't think there ever was a 4-minute warning, was there?
There wasn't really such a thing as a 4-minute warning. What happened was the Americans got permission from the British to build an early warning system at Findingdales in North Yorkshire. And there was quite a lot of fuss saying, well, the Americans are ruining our lovely national park just so they can get this 15-minute warning. And what good do we get out of it in Britain? And the Defence Ministry said, oh, well, it's also useful for us. We get a warning that in 4 minutes we'll go. So, which everybody rightly ridiculed. What the hell use is a 4-minute warning? I mean, you've got barely time to do anything except your love egg going off, obviously. Finally, the last end question. How many poles are there at the ends of the Earth?
Oh, now, obviously, now
Well,
there's clearly
that's a dangerous.
I think maybe there are 4. There's the top of the Earth, and then there's the magnetic. What is that? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, it is. I'm getting how many North Poles and South Poles are there in
2
both?
of each.
2 of each.
So you're saying 4?
I really tried hard.
You did try hard. You've got to use that, but take it further.
8.
Have another go.
Oh, no, I've blown all my elephant points now. 16.
It's 11. I know it sounds bizarre, but I'll try and take you through them. They're the two geographic poles, as they're known, North and South geographic pole. That's where the Earth's axis of rotation meets the surface, as it were. So that's, you know, pretty obvious. You'd think. There's the Earth, and it's spinning round. You know, there's the...
I'm just saying... I'm just not sure whether that's the best mime you could have done.
Right.
Where the geographical pole where this happens.
I was trying to be like, it's going round the...
Is that what happens when you get there, sir, is it?
Oh, well, look, OK. There are the two geographic poles.
Yes.
There's the geomagnetic poles, where the Earth's magnetic dipole meets the surface.
Obviously.
Yeah. There are magnetic poles where geomagnetic field lines point vertically into the ground in that way that electrical fields and magnetic fields do. Yes.
I want to go home now.
All right. You can. We're going to get through these. Girls never like the physics. It's odd. Joe's
Please,
the
I
same.
feel sick, sir.
Even Polar Guy, who's kind of into this as a topic, has dozed off at this stage.
There we are. There are 11 poles, 2 geographic north and south poles, 2 magnetic poles, 2 geomagnetic poles, 2 poles of inaccessibility, 2 celestial poles, and 1 ceremonial south pole. Oh, and now we have come. We've come.
Your pole
As
of
you would.
inaccessibility has finally been plundered.
We come not to the beginning of the end, or indeed to the end of the beginning, nor even the beginning of the middle part of that bit before the end, but to the actual end of the ending show itself. And we have a tie for first place between Dara and Jimmy at 5 points.
Hands across the nation now. Well done.
And extraordinarily tied at last place at -17 each, Doon and Alan. So, as the killer locusts of Abaddon swarm around us and the end of the show draws nigh, it's good night from Jimmy, Dara, Doon, Alan and me, and I'll follow the advice of the King of Hearts, which he gave to the White Rabbit. Begin at the beginning, the King said gravely, and go on till you come to the end, and then stop. Good night.